Welcome to Neo Royal House of Pricey Cardboard. On today's episode of Commander Gameplay, we are back on casual optimized EDH, a long overdue game featuring another Phil, aka June Hawk. You can find June Hawk on Twitter and Twitch streaming EDH and other video games. Our fourth is none other than Cole from the Uncommon Commander podcast. Cole and Phil are good friends, so that's how we met each other. We might get a lot of Cole on the coming weeks, we just happen to record a lot together. Phil is playing Skullbriar, the Walking Grave. It's a classic commander who got a lot of new toys in Ikoria because of all the keyword counter cards. Phil is also running a couple of the new sagas that flips into creatures, so I'm excited to see how they perform. The deck is very budget friendly at 150 on Moxfield. Cole is playing Ao the Down Sky, the new White Spirit Dragon from Kamigawa. This is a very interesting card that lets you cheat into play 4 CMC worth of permanent every time it dies. It takes from the top 7 as well, so it's even card advantage. The deck is running sack outlets and ways to reanimate the dragon multiple times. Kelly is playing Tormod, Sakashima and their weird son Gyruda. The deck needs no introduction at this point, you want the companion into play and chain clones into clones for a lot of meal and a lot of 6/6. A couple of new cards like the reality chip made it into the list from the last set. By the time this video is live, Kelly will have started to stream on Monday evenings, so definitely check it out on her Twitter page, Aching Murder Time. For myself, I'm playing a commander so new that it's not even released, Jetmir, Nexus of Revels, or like I like to call him, Chunky. I took my Gyruda deck and switched around 20 cards and this turned into a pretty great aggro list. I love keyword soup and the pump adds up fast when you have a bunch of goblins, humans and saplings. Thank you to our patrons for supporting the show. You can help us out for free by making sure to like the video and leave me a comment. The YouTube machine will be very pleased. Kitty gets to start this off. And land drops an island. Cole land drops a Wind Brisk Heights, hiding away a card. I land drop a Myriad Landscape.
Thank you, Phil. Alright.
Here we go, Phil. Phil land drops a Temple of Malady, scrying 1. Kelly land drops a Swamp and casts a Fire Medallion. Cole land drops a Plains and casts Mind Stone into a Soul Ring.
I mean, you played more cards in this turn than in your 2 games that we played together. Again.
Davey, listen here.
I'm gonna best.
I land drop a Plains, while Phil land drops an Oran Reef the Vast Wood. Kelly land drops a Darkwater Catacomb and casts Reality Chip. Cole land drops a Plains before casting his commander, Ao the Down Sky. I land drop an Endware Battlements and crack my Myriad for 2 basic forests.
You mean, Phil, we're playing good old honest magic here.
Phil land drops a Forge of Heroes and casts Roaring Heart. Kelly land drops a Phyrexian Tower and pays 3 mana to put Gyruda into her hand.
It's time for heckin' murder.
Ah! No.
Cole land drops a Command Beacon and casts Gift of Immortality on his commander. He follows it up with another banger, Helm of the Host. Heading into combat, Ao attacks Kelly. On my turn, I cast Isika's Chariot, getting 2 cat tokens on ETB. I then land drop a Celestial Sanctuary, returning my Battleman to hand. Phil casts his commander, Skullbriar, the Walking Grave. Once it's on the battlefield, he taps his Forge of Heroes for a first +1/+1 counter. He then drops a Forest, triggering his Roaring Heart for another 1. On our turn, Kelly casts Clever Impersonator, entering as an Ao. On his turn, Cole equips the Helm of the Host on his Dragon Spirit. And at the beginning of combat, Cole gets a non-legendary hasty Ao token. Kelly and Cole trades Aos, while Phil takes 5. From the dead triggers, they both pick the top 7 option. Kelly gets Hostage Taker, exiling the Helm of the Host on ETB.
At least she can't use it. Oh wait.
Yeah.
It's a clone deck.
Cole gets his copy of Windborn Muse. He then drops a Sheffet Dunes, and at the end step, Gift of Immortality returns on his commander. I then drop a basic Plains, and cast Cryptolith Rite. Now having access to red mana, I cast my commander, Jetmir, Nexus of Revels. I then use him to crew the Chariot. and go to combat.
I'm gonna send it to Phil. Gonna make a.
You sent it to yourself? What?
I can't let Eddie do that.
These jokes are gonna get old real fast.
Yep.
And on attack, I populate a cat. In second main, I cast Fires of Yavimaya, which is pretty good with a Cryptolith Rites and a board of Vigilance creatures. Phil enjoys a Swamp and buffs Skullbriar. He casts Solidarity of Heroes, doubling the amount of counters on his commander. For his combat step, Skullbriar attacks me and I block with a cat. On her turn, Kelly casts Cole's Helm of the Host from exile. She then passes. Cole casts Oblivion Ring, exiling his own helm under it. Going to combat, me and Kelly each get an AO, while Phil gets the Windborn Muse. Having attacked with 3 creatures, Cole uses Hideaway Land. He casts Angelic Renewal for only 2 mana. Wait. I'll end up a mountain and cast Rite of Harmony. I then cast Nayit of the Dire Hunt, drawing a card on ETB. Nayit crews the chariot.
Phil loves vehicles so much.
He's like, they're so good.
Give me cars everywhere.
I head into combat, sending Jetmir to Kelly while the chariot goes to Phil. I populate and draw a card. On my second main, I cast a Soul Ring and pass. But at my end step, Phil Croson grips the Gift of Immortality, making it a lot easier to attack Cole. On his turn, Phil then drops a Swamp, and casts Vraska the Unseen, using our -3 to destroy an unland permanent.
If you feel like removing the Windborn, I could do some decent damage next turn.
Ooh, that's a threat if I've ever heard one.
Well, depends for who. Because I think if you had the Sack Outlet, this would be a very different game.
This would be, this would be nuts right now. I'd be like, I'm sacrificing everybody. I don't care.
Phil ends up destroying the Angelic Renewal. Kelly casts Mirror Hall Mimic, entering as an Hostage Taker, which takes Cole's Soul Ring. She then casts the Soul Ring and attempts to pass, but at the end step, Cole cracks his Mind Stone for a card. On his turn, he then drops a Plains and casts Eternal Dragon. He goes to combat, sending 2 AOs to me, while Windborn Muse finishes off Vraska. I then drop my Anywhere Battlements again, and crew my vehicle with a cat before going to combat. Nayit triggers at the beginning of combat, and I pay 3 to double Jetmir's power. He must also be blocked if able. Jetmir in the chariot attacks Cole, and he blocks with a bunch of dragons. On attack, I make another cat, and on block, I draw a card. Cole gets 2 dead triggers, and we both put our commanders in the graveyard. From the first AO trigger, Cole gets Ashnod's Altar and Skull Clamp. For the second one, he gets Culling Days and Seal of Cleansing. I then pass. Phil then drops a Forest, and casts Verdurous Gearhulk, putting 4 more counters on Skullbriar.
At some point, he's gonna gain Tremble, and then it's gonna be sad.
Oh yeah. Then we're in real trouble here.
He then swings at Cole for 13. Kelly casts her companion, Gyruda, Doom of Depths.
Some say a beast lives in those waters. You see, it's called the Demon Kraken!
We all mill 4 and she brings back Cole's Breathkeeper Seraph, linking it with Gyruda. She then casts Mind Crank and pass. Cole casts Late to Dinner, returning AO to the battlefield with a food token.
Both Phils scare me.
He casts Endless Atlas, and at the end step, I cast Reap, returning 3 cards from my graveyard to my hand: Jetmir, Pest Infestation, and Tendershoot Dryad. Then on my turn, I'll end up a Brushland, and flashback Rite of Harmony. I cast Pest Infestation where X equals 2. I target the Mind Crank and Ashnod's Altar. But reacting to the spell, Cole sacrifices the Seal of Cleansing to blow up my chariot. The artifacts are then destroyed and I create 4 Pest tokens, drawing 4 cards. Tapping my Pest for mana, I cast Risk the Redeemed, and recast my commander, unlocking the Double Strike achievement for having 9 or more creatures.
Phil's not a problem.
I'm
No.
never a problem.
No.
At the beginning of combat, I pay 3 to double Jetmir's power. I send my commander at Cole, while Nayit goes to Kelly, who blocks with Gyruda. On first strike damage, the angel is still there, so Gyruda will come back on the next upkeep. At the beginning of Phil's upkeep, lo and behold, a Demon Kraken. We mill 4, but Kelly sadly whiffs. Phil casts Reckoner's Bargain, sacrificing the Gear Hulk. He land drop a Forest and casts Jugan, the Rising Star. There's a little misplay here. We were so focused on the Soulbound Angel that we forgot that the Soul Ring would leave as well. We catch it on the next turn. Kelly casts Massacre Worm. I lose 18 life and gain 4 from the pests.
That took a sharp turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This game has been filled with sharp turns. Let's not kid ourselves.
So many plates.
Everyone's like, no, I am the archenemy. And then everyone's like, no, I am the archenemy.
On my turn, I land drop Sunpetal Grove and cast Tusky, Bearer of Secrets, followed by Tendershoot Dryad. At the beginning of combat, I pay 3 to double Nayit's power with her own ability. I send Nayit and Tusky to Kelly, who double blocks. Because of the Tendershoot Dryad, I will be making a sapling on each upkeep. Field casts Unholy Indenture on his commander.
I just realized playing this against the clone Massacre Worm what might not have been my best idea.
I make a copy of Massacre Worm. I have made a big mistake.
On this turn, we remove the Soul Ring from Kelly's board. She casts her commander, Sakashima of 1,000 Faces.
Now you see me?
Now you don't. I react to the cast by sacrificing my Fires of Yavimaya, protecting the Tendershoot Dryad with +2/+2 until end of turn. Phil, however, has a reaction and casts Blood Curdle on the Dryad. Sakashima then enters as a Massacre Worm and I lose 6 more life. On my turn, I land drop a Forest and cast Finally of Devastation where X equals 11. I get my Pathbreaker Ibex, which gets Ace from the Finally. On attack, Pathbreaker grants 17/17 and trample to my creatures. I send Jetmir to Phil, while Nayit and Pathbreaker go to Kelly. Phil blocks with both his creatures, but I have a final trick in my hand, casting Boros Charm to give Jetmir double strike, now dealing 68 trample commander damage. Both my opponents are taken out of the game. Well played.
Oh no! I had a fog right next turn.
One turn, save your life.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If this is the first game you watch with us, we have a pretty big library of games by this point. Be sure to check out all the different guests and commander we tried. Check out Cole and Phil on their respective platforms. Take care and we'll see you very soon.